Hello, everyone. This is Ross with Market Traders Daily. This week we saw a few opportunities arise as the market waited for the NFP news today coming out of the U.S. Prior to that news, we could see here in the black circle, this is the U.S. dollar futures index. Here in the black circle, the market was a bit back and forth. We had some bearish, some bullish, some more bearish yesterday. The market was a bit back and forth over the past 3 days as it set up and waited for today's news. Today, clearly, the sellers taking control, driving it from up here towards the 97 level all the way down into the mid 96s, and a significant sell off on the dollar on disappointing news from non-farm payroll. So this is what the US dollar did this week. Let's see how we handled it on a couple of different trades. I want to start here with the USDCAD. Now, obviously today with Canadian and US news, we've had a significant sell-off. The current candle, the right-hand side of the chart, the red candle, current sell-off for the dollar CAD. Good news out of Canada, poor news out of the US, sending this plummeting on the dollar CAD. But actually, prior to that, this week we had an opportunity to buy the dollar CAD. Let me talk about that one real quick. First off, the three blue circles on the left show support into the blue shaded area 1.3365, 1.3385. Right here, a couple of days ago, and let's see, I'll get another circle, this black circle right here. Right here, we had an opportunity actually to find support at that historical level. And if I bring up my trade history here, you can see there's the trade and how we handled it. We bought the USD CAD at 1.3383, close to that top of that blue zone, 1.3385. Bought it there and targeted and closed profit near the 1.33 25 or so level up here as it approached the green zone. You can see that on the lower entry. I closed some profit at 1.3423. So as it was at there at the green zone. Let's take it down to the 4-hour time frame. So again, here's that area where we took the long shot for the dollar CAD right into here. So it came down into that blue zone. We took the long, captured profit as it went right back up to that green zone. Good news is we locked in profit on the remaining portion. Again, if you look down here, the original portion closed two lots at the 23 level. The second portion, or the remaining portion, closed out at 1.3388, so 5 pips locked in. So while we did capture some profit at the green zone, the remaining portion of the trade closed out as the market went down. That's a good thing because eventually it broke down through that blue shaded area. Let's go to a couple of active trades still open and live and running, the US yen and the Australian dollar. Let's go over here to the US yen first. We've been studying the downtrend pattern and really what happened a couple of weeks ago when the market found its range, this black box between the yellow and the green zone, 109.70.55 green zone, yellow zone 109.30, 109.10. We saw it do that, bounce around there a few days. Best opportunity to sell in the direction of the trend would have been the green zone, obviously, before the plummet. So we observed that back in history and took that into account for today's trading activity, as even before NFP, the market was finding resistance into the pink shaded area, 108.45, 108.65. Take it on down to the 4-hour time frame, and as you can see here, as it settled out prior to news, this was 8, 12 hours settling out here into the pink shaded area 108.45 before the news, and then finally news hits today, dollar sells off, driving it down to the blue zone. We have closed some profit already on this trade as it was down here into the blue shaded area. I believe, if I am correct, we closed profit somewhere in the neighborhood of 45 to 50 pips on that trade, and now currently locked in 15. Can't lose on the trade, waiting to see if we'll get another bearish surge for the USD. But basically, again, it was a duplication of the pattern that happened up here top left between the green and the yellow shaded area. Lastly, Aussie dollar, that's the other trade going down here. You can see currently we're in a long from 69.70. The current market sitting right around the 7,000 area, currently sitting 32 pips, but we've seen a bit more than that as the market tried to challenge just above the 7,015 level. Last week, we had an opportunity to take a long as it sat above the purple shade area. We discussed that earlier in the trade room. The profit taken on a buy above the purple shaded area. Interesting enough, within this rising trend, we also saw a similar, not exactly the same, but a similar phenomenon happening here above the yellow shaded area, giving us some confidence even prior to NFP and the sell-off of the dollar to take a long just above the yellow shaded area at 0.6970, capturing profit as it goes back into the pink zone. 4-hour time frame, you can see that in a little bit more detail. Yesterday we discussed the market, and again, these circles are a bit wonky here, but again, we discussed, let me just kind of squeeze this one in like this, and we'll take this one and squeeze in like this. So we were discussing, of course, the purple zone and sitting on top of their support and buying opportunities last week as it sat down into the yellow zone, giving us a couple of opportunities to see support into the yellow zone, taking longs there, challenging into the pink zone. Of course, now we'd love to see the breakout above the pink zone and continued profit here for the Australian dollar. But there's a couple of opportunities, both long dollar on the dollar CAD earlier in the week, short dollar on the Aussie dollar and US yen at the end of the week here to round out the week with profit. I look forward to seeing you in the trade room on Monday.